the grandson of Right Thought. Welcome to the School of Marvelous Light. Since it's a cold day today, let's just gather around the fire, sit back and chill, have some story time. Now, obviously, the Spirit has had us talking about the lack of brotherly love, what Abba's going to do to the world because of that, and also what he's going to do to those who submit to brotherly love and enter in before it's too late. And I've been giving you guys examples of what I've witnessed, especially during my time in the ministry. I'm going to give you guys an example of why Abba's judging this world the way that he is, which seems so harshly, with pestilence and famines and earthquakes and people dying and all kinds of horrible things. Well, the most horrible thing is the lack of brotherly love, if you ask me. Not loving is the most horrible thing. And so since men have chosen the most horrible thing, then they suffer the most horrible penalty. You sow the more horrible seed, you reap the more horrible plant. You see, plant only grows after the seed that's planted. And so it is with our hearts. Whatever's in our hearts will grow out of it. Whatever's planted in it. And those who have brotherly love planted as a seed in their heart will sprout forth. You see, like me, the branch. A sprout is what that word is when you study it in Hebrew. That's his name, me, sprout. Because I've sprouted from the seed into the plant. You see, that grew from the root. You understand what Abba was telling you through the prophecies? That there would be a person who would be coming out of the bloodline of David that would sprout. You see? And so it is being fulfilled here. But I'm just going to give you an example of the lack of brotherly love and how it's all lip service in this world. When I began my ministry, even before I went on the 40, this was about 2015, the Spirit came mightily upon me in the month September 2015, and I spoke in tongues, and there was a mighty rushing wind in that room. And I spoke in a tongue that not even I understood. And after that happened, I began to preach, just like I am now. And when I began to preach, about 5 or 6 brothers came around. And if you check my community page, recently I've posted a picture of those brothers. They're not all in that picture, but most of them are. One of them that took the picture is one of the brothers that also was part of the group. But I gathered these brothers around my dining room table and I started to preach to them the word. And as you can see by that picture, they obviously accepted it and believed it. Well, one of the brothers in the group, he would speak much lip service. Thank you, brother, for what you've given me. There's nothing I could pay you back for what you've given me. What you gave me is priceless, and I use it every day. And he has found himself in great hardships. And when he has found himself in those great hardships, he has always called me and say, do the thing that you do, brother. And I would do the thing that I do. And he would receive grace from Abba and get out of it. And he would always come and tell me, I know it's because you did that thing that you do, man. Thank you, brother, man. There's nothing I can give you for everything that you've given to me, bro. It's priceless what you've given to me. So I asked him one day, I said, what's your heart desire, bro? What is it really? And in so many words, it came down to being rich. He wanted to be rich. Sounds like Judas, huh? That was his main goal in life, become wealthy. So I said, that's fine. that's your goal. Because nothing I can say or do can change your mind if that's what your heart is set on. So I'll do the thing. And he's like, yeah, okay, okay, I'll do it with you. Teach me how to do it. So I told him how to do it. We sat together and we did the thing. And a great abundance of wealth came his way. Now, before the great abundance of wealth came, I had lost my house. We were no longer having meetings at the house anymore. I had been sent away to another state. So I was no longer meeting with these brothers or nothing. We hadn't talked or nothing. After a few years, I came back to this city and me and that same brother linked up. The one I told you, do the thing, man. Thank you for everything you ever did, man. I love you, brother. I love you, man. You gave me something I could never pay you back for. We meet up. Now, I happen to luck up on an Audi A8. Beautiful car. Curtains in the back. Beautiful. If you know about this car, then you know. An Audi A8. Abba blessed me to get back to my city because I was just stranded in another state way far away from home. But I get this Audi A8 and I drive back with it. He sees me. Oh man, remember his whole thing is being rich. So he sees that car. Whoa, what's going on, man? He don't know that I got it by grace. He doesn't know that. I didn't pay any money for it. I got it by grace. Beautiful car, man. Good engine, running smooth, perfect. I mean, it's just beautiful. The best car I've ever driven was that A8. I'm just being honest. I've driven some nice cars, but that was the best car. So I pull up. He's all excited, happy. Whoa, man. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So, man, you gonna let me drive? You gonna let me drive it? Sure. Give him the keys. All things in common. Sure. I received it freely, so who am I to say no? Like it belongs to me. Here you go. What, really? Yeah. Go ahead. He jumps in the car, driving it all fast and crazy. He gets on the freeway, starts going 120. I'm not lying. Starts going 120 on the freeway. This is during the wintertime in Detroit. Like he on what's that, Midnight Club? He driving that shit like he on Midnight Club. I'm in the passenger seat like, wow, this thing is crazy. I wasn't willing to risk it. He is, but wow, I didn't know it could do all this. I'm looking at the speedometer. He's just pushing it, pushing it, pushing it. I'm like, wow. So he's driving it all excited and everything. So over the next few days, now he at this time has a simple little car, a Chevy. Okay, we'll keep it at that. He has a Chevy. So he, the next couple few little days go by, and he gets into it with one of his friends, so-called brothers in the street. They get into it. It's over money. They get into it. They get to threatening each other. And I hear the guy threatening him on the phone because he called him on the phone and was threatening him, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to do something to you. So he just laughed it off and hung up the phone. So I'm like, wow, that's kind of interesting. Sheesh. Didn't know this is what you've been dealing with. I've been gone for a couple years. He's like, yeah, man, things have been real lately, bro. Shit been crazy, man. That nigga just mad because, shit, I got $20,000 off a deal. He think I owe him something. I don't owe him and blah, 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 blah. Whatever it was. So I said, well, dang, he's talking about killing you and everything. He's like, yeah, man, don't worry about him. I'm going to do something about that. Well, the next morning he gets up and goes and takes his Chevy and does a drive-by. Now, he didn't kill anybody. Nobody was hit. But you understand, you ain't about to threaten me. I'm going to get the jump on you before you get the jump on me. So he comes back, takes off all of the stuff that he had on and everything. And he's like, oh, man, I got to shoot some moves and do some stuff, but I can't be seen in that car in the hood, man. I said, here, take the Audi. They'll never expect you to be riding in that thing. It's got tent, curtains, and everything. Nobody even noticed you. They won't even think you're in it. So take it. You see? He jumps in the thing, takes on off, starts doing what he's got to do. Now, in the midst of us living together, remember I told you, he says, let's do this thing so that I can get my riches. So I said, well, he says, man, You want to make some music, bro? No, that's what I love to do. He says, you want to make some music? I said, sure. He says, let's go to the studio, man. I'll pay for it. I'm like, oh, to the studio? Oh, man, it's what I love doing. So we start going to the studio. He starts footing the bill. We start doing music. We did a lot of music together. And in one of the songs, we were talking about how good it felt to finally be free from poverty, to be basking in the ambiance of wealth and prosperity. See, like he was asking for. And that was one of the songs we made. Well, one random day, and we are no longer living together at this point. We had made the music, we went our separate ways because we weren't in agreement with life. The things I was teaching him weren't applying to him if he was doing drive-bys and things. You see? And I wasn't judging him, obviously. I said, take the Audi, man. But you're not seen in it. So nobody's looking for you. So I'm not judging him for what he's doing. You see? But I just knew I couldn't continue to be around this person. So I had to separate myself. Well, I separated myself and went and lived in an abandoned house. Okay? Now, this is after we've made the music and everything. Well, one day I'm living in the abandoned house. I get a phone call from this guy. He says, man, hey, Ak, turn that song on. And the song, let me see. What's the name of that particular song we made? It's called, can't even think of the name of the song now, y'all. I can't think of it, but if I think of it, maybe I'll post it. Y'all can listen to it one day or something. But he's like, turn that song on, bro. Turn that song on, man. We rich, bro. We done it, bro. It's done. Don't even sweat it. It's over with, bro. We rich. We rich. He's all excited and everything. I'm like, oh, wow, okay. He's like, yeah, turn that song on and bang that shit, bro. I'm about to come see you. So he pulls up in a brand new Challenger. Paid $25,000 for it. Brand new. Still got the sticker on it. Got a Montclair coat on. Says it's winter time. It's dead winter. And I remember he pulled up to the bando to come pick me up. Montclair coat on. Stacks of money in his pockets. And he's telling me about how he done got rich and how he done came up on a lick and got all this money. And how excited he is and how it happened. The thing, it did it again. And he can never thank me. He can never do enough to thank me. You see, because it happened again. So he's telling me this. Let's go to the studio and make some music. So we go to the studio, make some music and everything. And while I'm in the booth, preparing to do my verse on the song that we're doing, he comes in and he hands me a stack of money. It's at least about $30,000, all rubber band up. And he puts it in my hand. He's like, look, we did it, bro. We did it. He puts it in my hand. And I'm holding it, I'm looking at it, and I'm like, wow. You know what I'm saying? It's rare for a man like me to be holding $30,000 in cash in my hand. It was kind of heavy. I was like, wow, this is what it feels like. You know what I mean? So I'm sitting there holding it, looking at it. I'm like, wow. I said, yeah, you did it, bro. This really did happen. And he's like, yeah, man, thanks, man. He took the $30,000, put it back in his pocket. And we did the song, and then he dropped me off at the abandoned house that didn't even have power at this time in the winter time. All right, I love you, bro. And he let me go in there. I'm just pausing for a moment so you can let that simmer in your pot. And you can tell me what that is. So I didn't say anything. I wasn't bitter. I wasn't expecting anything. I just continued to say, all right, well, brother just showing me more of his true colors. He's just showing me why I separated from him. So some time goes by again. And I'm not communicating with him, not talking to him. And he's like, man, why are you not calling me? Why are we not doing this? Man, we need to be doing this and making some moves and doing music videos and doing that. So I'm like, yeah, you're right, man. Let's go to the studio, man. Let's do some work. We go to the studio. And then he tells me, hey, man, when I got all that money, bro, I had planned to give you like 20 grand, bro. But I was like, I need to make a little bit more. And if I make some more, then I'm going to break off. I'm going to give you like 50 grand, bro. I'm going to give you about 50,000. Do y'all think I've ever seen that 50,000 to this day? Remember the Challenger he was driving? He crashed it and totaled it like a month after he got it. Remember that A8? Yeah, it got confiscated during a drug deal. Y'all hear this today? You see what I'm saying? And so he tells me this. Okay, never has happened to this day. So lip service is what we're describing here, aren't we? People honor you with their lips. Bro, you have taught me something I could not ever have imagined I would ever know. And now there's nothing I can give you in return for what you give me. These are his words. That's what did with his lips. But when he had it in his hands to give to the brother that gave him something that was priceless, he said, he couldn't even give him money to survive, to take care of himself when he was living in an abandoned house. But he was willing to make music with him because he knew he had talent that caught people's attention, that drew to it. And people have always done this with me. And I don't know why they think I don't notice it. It's so weird. Since I was young, I've been very good at making music. Naturally, just comes to me and playing instruments. I am a cunning player of the string instruments. It's just the way Abba made me, just like he made David. A cunning player of the harp. So am I. And that's just the way it is. So when people see that and they go, wow, wait a minute, people are paying him attention. They think he's great doing that. Okay, I'll get connected to him and then I'll get some of that greatness too. Even if I don't have the same level of talent, they'll think I do because I'm associated with him. And people do that all the time. It's called riding your coattails. That's what it's called. But when it comes time to give you your due for what you drew in, they don't want to do it. They just hoard it from themselves because people are selfish and they're thieves. And they deceive with their lips. That's why I said there's a Judas in the camp who will sell his brother out for filthy lucre. And it just proves to you when you see it in your own life, when you endure something like that, like what I just told you. When you endure something like that, you see it and you go, it proves who I am. It should to you if it's happened to you. It just further confirms that you're chosen and elect by the Father. Was Yahusha elect? Did he suffer persecution? Was he hated? Was he reviled, lied on, bore false witness against, ultimately murdered? So then it just proves to you what ilk you're of, what cloth you're cut from. You ain't of the world. You don't do that to people. You can't do it. You can't sit next to somebody, smoke a blunt with them, and laugh and cry, and then watch them walk into an abandoned house and not say, wait a minute, I got $50,000 in my pocket. What is it to give my brother $500? What is it? He said, I'm going to give you 20, and he couldn't even do that. Do y'all see it? And then we wonder why we can't have the things that we seek for. Why? So we can just consume it upon our lust, like the book of James says? How is that living honorably, robbing from ourselves that way? I got it, I got it, I got it. Stack not up for yourselves treasures here on earth. I got it, I'm stacking it, I'm stacking it, I got it, I'm stacking it. Stack not up for yourselves treasure. See, because y'all hear that and then y'all think that just means poverty. It doesn't. It doesn't. What it means is draw it in, definitely, so that you can send it out, so that it can be currency and flow like it's supposed to, like a river. When you dam the river, it dries up. And then people die because they're thirsty. So unclog it. Clogging it means stacking it. That's clogging the currency. Doesn't it make perfect sense when you see it? It's clogging up the drain where it can't flow. So then what happens when water just sits? It gets stagnant, starts to stink, and it becomes deadly. And all the fish get to dying and going belly up. So let it flow. Like Tony Braxton say, let it flow. Whatever she was saying. Just let it flow, man. When it come in, let it go on out. Let it come on in and let it go on out. Because that's what you do when you're breathing. That's what living is then. See? In and out. Not in. Yeah, out. Now look at your money flying out. Look at all the money flying out the guy like Sonic's rings when that nigga got hit on that spike. You thought you jumped over it. I know. I used to think I was going to make it over too. I didn't hit the box that put the globe around me first. And I said, well, I should go get the box, but I can make it over and get those other rings. Boing, ding. Nigga, eyes bulged out. Ding. Rings flew out the nigga and shit. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You be trying to rush to get at least one more ring so you don't die and shit. Yeah, you need a ring or you'll die. Oh, man. You need a ring or you're going to die. Okay? Your brother need rings too. So what happened when Sonic stacked up his rings? He jumped on one of them spikes and all the rings went to flying. And I don't care how good you think you are. When the rings started flying up out of you, you can try and hit that controller. It's only on that Sega Genesis controller. It was only them 3 buttons, A, B, and C. So you can hit A, B, and C in the direction pad all you want. You could never collect all the rings that fell out. If you had 99 rings when you hit the spike, when you collect it back, you had like 15 rings. You're like, wait a minute, man, damn. Yeah. That's what happens when you get to hoarding them up, man. Let them go. Let them flow. You see? But when you do that, you wound yourself through. You pierce yourself through. Look at this. Watch. Abba says, for the love of money, many have chased after, pierced themselves through with many sorrows. Now, the same guy I told you about that was like, man, I was going to give you that, man, but I just got to get some more money, then I'm going to break you off. When I get about 1 million, then I'll break you off. Like I said, he came into a significant amount of money. Okay? But when I get about 1 million, then I'll break you off. What? Didn't I help you build this? Yeah. So why I don't get to partake of none of it? Because it's not finished building yet. When it's finished building, then we get to eat it. Well, why are you eating it? I don't know what they be doing. That's all, folks. That's how I look to the children of truth. We be like, you're just giving lip service, bruh. You're just like the Canaanites that take somebody's talent. You're so ugly. You're so fat. You're so out of shape and dumb and lacking that nobody cares about you. You don't have any talent. So then you find somebody who does, and then you leech off of them and make a whole lot of money off of them. Ain't that the way that's been going on in this world? If you search it, you'll find it. Y'all see Puff Daddy and y'all think he running something. But he had a mentor named Clive Davis. Look how Clive Davis looked. And look how many songs Clive Davis has made. Mm-hmm. Y'all will see somebody like Jay-Z and y'all think he running Rockefeller Record, he doing something. But then you see somebody like Leo Cohen. Oh, wait a minute. That's who you subordinate to. Somebody who ain't never made a song. Somebody who don't nobody never seen. See what I'm trying to say? A leech. Somebody had to tell you, hey, it's a leech on you. Oh, I didn't know that was there. Oh, yeah, you don't really feel it. Isn't it interesting? He has something in his little bite there that numbs the effect so you don't know that it's really happening until you see it and you go, wait a minute, you're living off of my lifeblood. That's why God made the leech, so he could teach you that that's what human beings do. There are also mosquitoes that are so irritating that teach you a great lesson about human beings too. They teach you that they will suck your lifeblood and don't give you nothing back in return but an irritating, itchy ass, pussing ass bump. And y'all know it's true. That's to illustrate humans, that there are people that do that. See? There are people who live like that. They live off the lifeblood of others. They live off the talents of others. Most of them are called promoters. Those are usually the also other people that leech. Some don't. Some literally have that person's best interest at heart, but it's very rare. When the dollars start to flowing in, they start going, wait a minute. So you say if I put that dress on my client, we'll get an extra $1 million, you said? Hey brother, okay, we usually don't do this kind of thing, but they said an extra million. Wasn't your wife cussing you out last night because the bills weren't paid? The guy's like, yeah. Sheesh, yeah. Wasn't your mom complaining about not having her medication on time? She doesn't know if she has long to live. You're like, yeah. This nigga promoting, ain't he? You're like, yeah, damn. You're right about that, man. The pressure's on. Put the dress on, man. Screw it. Here's your check. Sheesh. Yeah, that's the world you've been living in. See? Like the brother leeched off me. Like Judas leeched off Yahusha. Hey man, help me do this. Okay, now he got it. Sorry, I can't break you off nothing, man. I will when he get to the bigger size. Hey Mary, what you doing? Don't you know that could have been given to the poor? And then the Apostle John came right out and told you he ain't care nothing about no poor people. He just wanted to hold it in the bag. So it is this day, as I have proven to you in my own existence. Sit right there at the table and eat your bread and won't lift a finger to help you when you're damn near dead. Sit right at your table and will gobble up every morsel of your bread, but will not lift a finger to help you when you are damn near dead. That ain't no neighbor, nor is it a brother, but they will call you Ak. Like I've told you, they'll grab you by the forearm and pull you in for a hug and say, and cry and say, love you, man, for what you said, man. I didn't know this. Man, you've changed my life, man. They'll go to their sons in front of you and be like, yeah, man, look at this truth and say this over yourself. I'm not black. I'm a Hebrew. Say it. I'm a God. Say it. Say it. I'm a Hebrew. I'm a God. Yeah. You see what I'm teaching my boys? Yeah. But won't lift a finger to help you when you're living in a bando with no electricity in the wintertime with snow up to your damn knees. You see? All of this stuff for the last couple of days that I've been telling you our experiences, they're kind of compiling up, aren't they? The iniquity is kind of compiling up there. You're starting to see, wait a minute. Here's a preacher of righteousness who does nothing with his life except preach the words of God. Simple as that. Now, though he does nothing else that we know of that he does that. He does do that diligently. He does give his daily sacrifice. You see, like Yahushua said, I see my Father working, so will I. His Father, the Word. So I see the Word working, I'm going to give you what the Word is working. This is what the word is working. The Abba, I told y'all this in a community post. I said, Abba's about to expose all hypocrites. And for the little flock, don't be scared by that because you're not a hypocrite. So don't be scared by that. But if you happen to have something in your eye, just get it out. Just get it on out so you can see clear enough, which means you can understand why your brother's doing what he's doing so you won't hate him. You'll do like Yahusha did with Judas. Man, you betrayed the son of man with a kiss? Wow. All right. But you can't change Judas's fate. And even I had to learn that. So I had to let go. And now, this same guy I told you about with all the money and the stacks and driving all the fancy cars and nice flashy clothes and big diamond chain he bought and all kind of shit, he's on the run. He had a tether on. He cut the tether off and he's on the run. So, what profited it at all? Well, that's what happens when you don't do the will of the Father and love your neighbor as yourself. You pierce yourself through with sorrows, man. It makes you want to kill yourself, like Judas. You see? The shame, the guilt, the fact that you know that what you did was wrong. It was not fair. What I described to you, was it fair? You would say, no. See? So he knows that. You got to live with that on your conscience. I had all these hundreds of thousands of dollars and I didn't give my brother $100. I told him, see, I exposed myself because I put that money in his hand. See, that money he put in my hand in the studio, Abba revealed to me that that was what he intended to give me. But when he saw it in my hand, he couldn't part with it. And he just asked for it back and he put it back in his pocket. He just couldn't do it. But that was his moment that he could have redeemed himself right there. But he couldn't do it. He chose money. And so that's the way it works when you hoard it up for yourself. You suffer the consequences of it because you didn't share it when you had the chance to. So now you're on the run because your own conscience is tearing your ass up, just like Judas was on the run because his own conscience tore him up. Y'all didn't watch Passion of the Christ? And Judas was running, the little kid looking demons was chasing him and shit, and he was wiping his lips that it was all crusty. Then he went and hung himself, and then the rope broke and his fell and his bowels gushed out. So no, I don't pay to be like that. It don't. And though y'all may not understand the grandson of right thought every time he opened his mouth and every time that he speaks the way that he does, y'all may not understand or y'all may not get it. Y'all may not at all times. But at the end you will. It all makes sense why I did and said everything that I did and said in the end. Just like it is doing for this brother that I described to you, just like it will for everybody else who missed their chance to show brotherly love. Especially when it was due, when you out of your mouth exclaimed it. Abba gonna be like, why didn't you do it if you said out of your own heart that you knew you should have? Why didn't you? And what will be your answer to the why didn't you? What will you say? You don't have to do nothing weird like that when you did do it, do you? Abba said it was in your hand to give it, and you gave it. And you go, yes, Abba, because that's right to do that. My brother gave me a gift I said I couldn't even pay for, so the least I could do was give him this. I know his whole story. I know how wrongfully he was treated. I know how he lost his family on lies and deception and trickery. I know that his children were stripped away from him and he hasn't seen them. So maybe if he can get his own home and have his own place and have his own security, then maybe he'll have that again. Brother couldn't do it. So what's your choice today, little flop? To be cold-hearted and mean like that and just giving people lip service, or to be a cheerful giver from the heart, knowing that what we have is temporary? The things that are seen, are they eternal or temporary? So if you can see it, it's temporary, ain't it? So the temporal things are meant to be treated as such. Oh man, it's just here for the moment, so let's share it. It's not nothing I got to hoard like it's going to be mine forever. It's not. It's not going to be mine forever. There are people who have built a house with their own hands, and a tornado came and picked that house up and threw it across the earth, and it landed hundreds of feet somewhere else. And that could have happened to them because there was a moment when someone needed to stay in one of those 6 rooms that they had, but they weren't willing to because of their own fear or because of their own doubt or selfishness or covetousness. They didn't do it. You know that there are many people who live in $1 million mansions with many spare bedrooms with no one in them. You know there are people, like Floyd Mayweather said, who own 70 houses or whatever he said, that some of those houses are empty and nobody lives in them. You know that. You know that's how rich people get down. So be set apart today, Israel, and choose to build our own community based on brotherly love. We don't need that out there. We don't need that selfish world to give each other what we got. You understand what I'm saying? We have each other. So since we have each other, let's take care of each other and let's start working for each other. And then we'll see the fruits of our labor for each other. I guarantee you that. Silwam Israel.